So in this segment, we are obviously in the kitchen, and boy, I tell you, it's a beautiful space. It's a beautiful space for sure. But it's more than just what you see. You know, oftentimes in kitchen, we know that it's the focal point for many people. When you walk into a house, it's either the great room or the kitchen that people see. We talked about that in the previous segment. But this kitchen is very different, and that's by design. So not only the location, as we talked about in our intro segment, but tell us why this is different. Tell us about the materials. What went into your mindset in this design?
Sure. So when we think about the kitchen, we really can't take anything away from it. Meaning, we need a stove, we need parts and pieces. But so when we think about, we took apart the healthy piece of it, though. What are some of the things in the kitchen that we could take to the next level? And we're going to talk a little bit about the countertops, the cabinets, flooring in this kitchen's tile. So nothing new there, other than the fact that tile is a healthy material. We think about what goes into tile, and it's zero off-gassing and pieces of that. But from the tile up, everything in this kitchen has been thought through. Cabinetry, the type of woods that were used, the assembly, the finishes were all looked at as far as how they off-gas, how they actually can increase and help our health. But then we get to the countertops. We do like to use quartz. Doesn't matter the manufacturer of quartz. All quartz is quartz on the healthy front. That's how it's made. But this year we're able to showcase a product that we showcase in one location here on the island. This is actually a product called Dracaena. It's relatively new to the U.S. market. It came about 2 years ago, and it's got distributed to the Midwest last year. And what's unique about Dracaena is that this material is only made up of 3 pieces, or 3 materials that make up this composite. And it's going to be quartz, porcelain, and glass. They take it to a volcanic state, they put it in a giant press, they press really hard, and they create rock. And why that's important is there are no added dyes, chemicals, resins, glues. They use those 3 properties to actually form it. And when it's formed, and when I say a rock, it's the same way that they create fake diamonds. So I mean, we're getting down to a really, really high compressive strength, which means you can't scratch it. So this is a screwdriver. This screwdriver was about 1.5 inches longer when we started parade. And why I say that is because you can take a screwdriver to this surface and you can scratch it. Oh wait, no, you can't scratch it. I can scratch on it, but I actually can't scratch through it. It is so hard you cannot scratch it. We have people come through parade, and it was like the coolest thing they've ever seen, because they're like, where was this with kids? If you've got kids, this is definitely a product.
Well, and you can mark on this too.
Yep, so I can take a marker to it, permanent marker, and you can wipe it right off.
And I think it's important to remember too, as you talk about, you think about maybe remodeling your house or building new, that's one of the things that you talk about is the materials. A lot of people don't know that granite does off-gas to some degree, and then you have to use chemical sealers on top of those, where with this product you don't have to. Not at all. Also does really well with heat. You can put a pot right on it and it doesn't heat up. It's great. But that's not where we stopped. We didn't just think about the cabinets and the countertops. We actually moved on to even at the kitchen sink. We've got an RO system there. We have a whole house water purification system that we'll actually talk about when we get to the basement segment. Stainless steel. The dishwasher's changed. All the internal compartments, bottle cleaning, even the type of resins that they apply over the rack system has changed. Gen Air products are kind of leading the edge of that. They actually have a whole segment and line that they're trying to work towards healthy. We actually met with the vice president of that, and they were excited to hear that we were doing healthy, because it's on the same front there. Things with refrigerators have changed, but what you can't see is probably the thing that surprised people, one of the most things besides the countertop, and that is the steam oven. So this house doesn't have a microwave, although don't worry if you're microwave oriented. We did have a spot for it. We just didn't put one in the model right now, because we use a steam oven. And if you've never heard of a steam oven, right now hop online and type in steam oven and learn all about it. But it uses steam to actually cook and keep all the nutrients inside the food. And you can do really neat things like stale bread. We can rejuvenate back to actually being as if you took it right out of the oven. We can reheat plates of food. Common question is, if I got a plate of food, it's going to take about 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes to reheat. It's going to take about 6.5 minutes in the steam oven. However, they're not going to have the hot spots. All the nutrients are going to stay in there. Everything is going to taste as good as when you took it right off the stove. So it's pretty exciting, and people were. It was fun to demo that. Well, like most kitchens, you've got things like farm sinks, downdrafting in the oven area, but just a great design. And of course, people ask, is our pantry door, is that something that is also decked in? No, that would be a very, very heavy.
Very heavy door.
So, anything else about the kitchen that you want to add?
One last thing is that if what you can see, and you got to come experience it, because quite honestly, you just can't take it in from the video shot that we've got right here. But you'll notice that there isn't backsplash around or tile around the whole kitchen. It was one of the things that I got asked mostly in design is every house that they had toured and every one they've gone into, there's tile everywhere. And what I tell people is that, you know, it's sometimes just because you see it everywhere doesn't mean that that's something that you have to do. And so in this particular case, we wanted to show people that we can put tile in a specific area, the area behind the stove, in order to complement the island to the pantry to the back and leave the rest of it very simple. And as the price of things come up, that's something that we talk a lot about with our clients is keeping the cost down but not losing design. I would arguably say that we don't have a tile backsplash here which actually kept some costs down, but we didn't compromise on design. So I think that's kind of neat to point out.
And where we do have the tile, we have some awards, so we're going to cover those in another segment. But for now, the Dracaena kitchen.